Hi everyone, I'm doing this quick video about smartwatches and trackable data. You can see I've already got one anyway, but the reason why I bring this up is because I was in a taxi not too long ago, and as a taxi driver was asking me, do those watches work? Should you be counting your steps? And I was like, that's a good question. And then I had to give him my answer at a level that he could understand, so I couldn't go too deep. But what I said to him is, the best thing about having a smartwatch is not measuring what you do, it's understanding what you don't do. I just completely flipped it, and let me explain. What I mean by that is, if I wear a smartwatch and I wear it for a week, after that week, I'll know what my average step count is. I'll know what my average heart rate is, and if you might have one with sleep cycles and all sorts, but I'm not trying to sell you anything here. So it's good at monitoring, and I think that's the big buy-in, because at the minute you don't know, and after only wearing it for a few days, you will know. Now, then you start going a bit deeper, and people, what they say to me is, well, I don't like technology, it blows my brain a bit. The problem is, when you give somebody technology, after about a week, they get so fascinated in it. They want to know so much more. They're downloading manuals, they've got the app on their phone, they go way, way deeper than even I do. Okay, now what trackable data is good for is measuring what you do, giving you a starting point, and giving you something to beat. So like this taxi driver that I was talking to, I was like, do you know what your activity levels are? No. Do you know how often you get up out of the taxi and walk around? It's like, that's different every day. Like, but what if every day you wore a watch and you said, okay, well, most days I do around 7,000 steps. And then the next day you put it on, you got 4,000 steps. What would that mean to you? Well, it probably means I need to do a bit more. Bingo, buy a watch. Just go and get one. Because you've already told me that you now know where you're at and what you need to do to improve it. So for me, it's a win-win. When you start getting to the other level and you're buying running watches and cycling watches and swim watches, that's a whole other ball game. But for the general person that just says, I want to go to the gym and exercise, I'll go and get one. Now, here's some things that you also need to remember is your heart rate's relative to the activity that you're doing. So if you're wearing it for a run, and then you're wearing it to go and do Pilates, they're two different heart rate responses. So if you are going to get a smartwatch, you are going to get something that tracks, I'd probably say get one that does different training zones. So you can have a different heart rate training zone for when you're running, a different one for if you're doing kettlebells, a different one for if you're just walking around. Because what people do is they have one heart rate training zone and they just use that for everything. And it's not the same. I often get people that have come on a cycling course with me, if they're coming to learn how to use a watt bike, and they're saying to me, okay, well, I know what my maximum heart rate is. It's 220 miles your age. And I know that because my running watch told me. Well, there's lots of problems there. One, it's a running watch, and we're cycling, two different sports, they're not the same. One's got ground impact, one hasn't. The other thing is 220 miles your age is an estimate. It's a starting point for people that's not really specific to you. So I'd say find out what your maximum heart rate is for that activity. And for most people, the safest way of doing that is a sub-maximal test and just saying, look, on a scale of 1 to 10, what do I feel that 10 is? Because if you start going off 220 miles your age, you're going to go beyond 10 out of 10, make yourself sick, not feel very well, and probably faint. So let's not go down that road. Okay, let's just pull this back to the moral of today's talk, which is, should I be measuring what I'm doing? Yes. Does a smartwatch work? Of course it does. Should I just use my phone app? Probably not, because now you have to carry your phone everywhere. And one of the things I like to work with people is trying to not have the phone next to them all the time. So I'll probably look at a decent watch that you can wear, and it'll tell you when you get a message or an Instagram post anyway. Okay, so hopefully that helps you, gives you a bit more of a pointer to your tracking, and do I need one, yes or no? I'd probably say yes. I think it's a good idea and it gets people started.